What really happens when you keep your deepest emotions locked inside? It may seem harmless, but silence slowly builds invisible internal pressure. Every unspoken feeling quietly waits for a moment to be released. You smile outside, while chaos silently grows deeper within you. Bottled emotions do not disappear, they simply hide and gather strength. At first, ignoring feelings feels easier than facing uncomfortable truths. You convince yourself everything is fine, even when it clearly isn't. But your mind remembers everything you try so hard to forget. Emotional suppression often begins as a way to protect yourself. You avoid conflict, pain, or rejection by staying completely silent. Over time, this habit becomes your default emotional response. You stop expressing feelings, even when expression becomes necessary. Slowly, your emotional world becomes quieter, but far more dangerous. Your thoughts start looping without any safe outlet for release. Stress builds quietly, like steam trapped inside a sealed container. You may not notice changes until they start affecting daily life. Small annoyances suddenly feel overwhelming and impossible to handle calmly. You react strongly to things that never bothered you before. This confusion makes you question your own emotional stability sometimes. Your body also starts responding to hidden emotional tension silently. Headaches, fatigue, and restlessness become part of your routine. Sleep becomes difficult as your mind refuses to slow down. Even peaceful moments feel slightly uncomfortable without clear reason. Your relationships begin to feel distant and harder to maintain. People may notice changes, but they cannot understand your silence. You struggle to explain feelings because they feel too complicated, so you choose silence again, continuing the emotional cycle. Bottled feelings slowly create emotional walls between you and others. You feel alone, even when surrounded by people who care. This isolation deepens as communication becomes more difficult over time. Your confidence may begin to weaken without emotional clarity. You second-guess your reactions and doubt your own feelings often. Inside, unresolved emotions continue growing stronger and more intense. They wait patiently for a moment when they can no longer hide. Eventually, those feelings demand attention in unexpected and overwhelming ways. This could happen during a simple conversation or minor disagreement. Suddenly, emotions burst out stronger than the situation requires. Others may feel confused by your reaction, not knowing your struggle. You might regret your response, but still feel misunderstood afterward. This creates a cycle of guilt, silence, and emotional buildup again. Bottling feelings does not solve problems, it delays them dangerously. The longer you wait, the heavier those emotions become internally. You carry invisible weight that slowly drains your mental energy. Even happy moments feel incomplete when emotions remain unprocessed. You laugh, but something inside always feels slightly off balance. This imbalance affects your ability to feel true joy fully. Over time, emotional numbness may start replacing intense hidden feelings. You stop feeling deeply as your mind tries protecting itself. But numbness is not peace, it is just another silent struggle. You lose connection with both pain and genuine happiness gradually. This disconnection can make life feel empty and directionless sometimes. You may start wondering why everything feels so distant and unreal. The answer often lies in emotions you never allowed yourself to feel. Avoiding emotions might seem strong, but it actually weakens you inside. True strength comes from facing and understanding what you truly feel. But facing emotions requires courage that many people struggle to find. So they continue hiding feelings, hoping time will solve everything. Unfortunately, time alone does not heal unaddressed emotional wounds. Healing begins only when emotions are acknowledged and expressed safely. Until then, bottled feelings continue shaping your thoughts and actions silently. You may not see it, but it influences every decision you make. Your reactions, choices, and relationships are all quietly affected. The longer you ignore emotions, the harder they become to face. But understanding this truth is the first step toward emotional freedom, because what you suppress today will eventually demand to be heard. But what happens when those hidden emotions finally begin breaking through? It rarely happens gently and almost never at the right moment. The pressure builds silently until something small triggers a massive reaction. A simple comment can suddenly feel deeply personal and painful. You react strongly, surprising even yourself with the intensity inside. This emotional explosion often confuses people around you completely. They only see the reaction, not the years of silence behind it. You try to explain, but words feel messy and hard to control. Frustration grows as you feel misunderstood and emotionally exposed. Afterward, regret slowly replaces the temporary relief you experienced. You wish you handled things differently, but it feels too late. This creates a cycle where you return to silence once again. You promise yourself not to react like that ever again. So you push emotions deeper, thinking control means hiding everything. But hidden emotions do not disappear. They grow more unpredictable. Over time, your emotional reactions become harder to understand. You may feel angry without knowing the exact reason behind it, or sadness appears suddenly, without any clear explanation at all. This emotional confusion makes daily life feel unstable and exhausting. You start avoiding situations that might trigger unexpected feelings. Social interactions begin to feel stressful instead of enjoyable experiences. You overthink conversations long after they have already ended. Small moments replay in your mind, creating unnecessary anxiety. Your brain tries to process emotions you never expressed properly. This constant mental activity drains your focus and energy. You struggle to stay present because your thoughts feel overwhelming. Even simple tasks begin to feel heavier than they should. Motivation slowly decreases as emotional weight continues building inside. You feel tired, even when you have not done much physically. This exhaustion comes from carrying unprocessed emotions every single day. Over time, your self-image may start to shift negatively. You may begin thinking something is wrong with you internally. But the truth is, your emotions were never given space to breathe. Bottling feelings creates internal conflict between your mind and heart. One part wants expression, while the other fears vulnerability deeply. This inner battle keeps you stuck in emotional confusion for long periods. You want peace, but you avoid the path that leads there. Because facing emotions feels uncomfortable and sometimes even frightening, yet ignoring them only increases their power over your life. Your body continues sending signals that something needs attention. You might notice increased tension in your muscles and posture. Breathing may feel shallow during moments of emotional stress. Your heart races even when there is no clear external threat. These physical signs reflect emotions trying to surface and be heard, but when ignored, they transform into long-term stress patterns. This can affect both your mental and physical health over time. You may feel disconnected from your own thoughts and emotions. It becomes difficult to identify what you truly feel inside. This emotional disconnect creates distance between you and your identity. You lose clarity about your needs, desires, and personal boundaries. Saying no becomes harder because you ignore your own feelings. You prioritize others while silently neglecting your emotional well-being. This imbalance can lead to resentment that grows quietly over time. You give too much but feel unappreciated and emotionally drained. Still, you remain silent, afraid of causing conflict or rejection. This silence slowly damages your sense of self-worth and confidence. You begin believing your feelings are not important or valid, but every emotion you feel has meaning and deserves attention. Ignoring them only creates deeper emotional wounds within you. These wounds may not be visible, but they are very real. They shape how you see yourself and interact with others daily, and without healing, they continue affecting your future experiences. But awareness of this pattern is where real change begins. Recognizing the impact gives you a chance to break the cycle, because understanding your emotions is the first step toward true control. So how do bottled emotions begin shaping your long-term mental patterns? The effects go deeper than temporary stress or emotional outbursts. They slowly influence how you think, react, and view yourself daily. Your brain adapts to suppression by avoiding emotional processing completely. This avoidance becomes automatic, even when expression feels necessary. You may struggle to identify emotions when someone asks how you feel. Simple questions suddenly feel complicated and uncomfortable to answer honestly. You respond with, "I'm fine," even when you clearly are not. This habit creates distance between your truth and your words. Over time, this gap affects your authenticity in relationships deeply. People connect with honesty, but suppression blocks genuine emotional connection. You may feel unseen, even when others are trying to understand you. This leads to frustration that builds silently without clear communication. You expect others to notice your feelings without expressing them directly. When they do not, disappointment quietly turns into emotional withdrawal. You start pulling back, protecting yourself from further misunderstanding. This pattern creates loneliness that feels difficult to explain clearly. You crave connection, but fear the vulnerability required to achieve it. Bottled emotions also affect how you handle conflict situations. Instead of expressing concerns early, you hold everything inside longer. Issues grow bigger because they were never addressed at the right time. When conflict finally happens, emotions come out all at once. This overwhelms both you and the other person involved deeply. Healthy communication becomes harder when emotions feel too intense suddenly. You may avoid future conflicts completely to prevent emotional discomfort. But avoiding conflict also prevents growth and mutual understanding. Suppressed emotions can also distort your perception of reality. You might assume negative intentions where none actually exist. Past, unexpressed feelings influence how you interpret present situations. This creates unnecessary misunderstandings that damage relationships over time. Your mind tries to protect you, but ends up creating confusion instead. Overthinking becomes common as you analyze every detail repeatedly. You search for meaning in situations that may not require deep analysis. This constant thinking keeps your mind busy but not peaceful. Emotional clarity is replaced with mental noise and endless questioning. You may feel stuck in your thoughts without finding real answers. Bottled emotions also affect your decision-making abilities significantly. You may struggle to trust your instincts or emotional responses. Doubt becomes stronger because your feelings feel unclear or unreliable. This hesitation can slow your personal growth and life progress. Opportunities may pass because you feel unsure about your choices. Fear of making wrong decisions increases when emotions stay unprocessed. Your inner voice becomes quieter as suppression continues over time. You lose touch with what truly feels right or wrong for you. This disconnection makes life decisions feel heavier and more stressful. You may start relying too much on others for validation. External opinions begin shaping choices more than your own feelings. This weakens your independence and emotional confidence gradually. Bottled emotions also impact your creativity and self-expression deeply. Creative energy often comes from emotions, both positive and negative. When emotions are suppressed, creativity may feel blocked or limited. You may struggle to express ideas, thoughts, or artistic feelings freely. This can make life feel less colorful and more restricted emotionally. Even hobbies you once enjoyed may start feeling less fulfilling because emotional connection is missing from those experiences now. Over time, this emotional suppression shapes your overall personality. You may appear calm outside but feel chaotic inside constantly. Others might see you as strong, while you feel overwhelmed privately. This difference between outer image and inner reality feels exhausting. Maintaining this balance requires energy that drains you slowly. Eventually, you may question who you really are inside, because your true emotions were never fully explored or expressed. But recognizing these patterns gives you the power to change them. Awareness opens the door to healing and emotional understanding, and that is where the journey toward real emotional freedom begins. So what can you actually do to release bottled emotions safely? The process begins with allowing yourself to feel without judgment. You do not need to fix everything. Just acknowledge what exists inside. Start by identifying emotions you have been avoiding for a long time. Give those feelings names, even if they seem confusing at first. Clarity begins when emotions are recognized and accepted honestly. Writing your thoughts down can help organize overwhelming emotions clearly. A simple journal becomes a safe space for honest self-expression daily. You can write freely without worrying about being judged or misunderstood. This habit slowly reduces the pressure built from silent emotional buildup. Talking to someone you trust can also bring emotional relief gradually. Sharing feelings does not make you weak. It shows emotional courage. Choose someone who listens without rushing to judge or fix everything. Even speaking a little can reduce the emotional weight significantly. If talking feels difficult, start with small and simple expressions first. You do not have to share everything all at once immediately. Healing is a process that moves step by step over time. Another helpful method is practicing mindfulness during emotional moments. Pay attention to what you feel without trying to escape it quickly. Observe your thoughts like passing clouds instead of fighting them constantly. This awareness helps you understand emotions instead of fearing them. Breathing exercises can calm your body during intense emotional waves. Slow breathing sends signals of safety to your nervous system. This makes it easier to process emotions without feeling overwhelmed. Physical movement can also release stored emotional tension effectively. Activities like walking, stretching, or exercise help your body relax. Emotions are not only mental, they are stored physically as well. Releasing physical tension supports emotional healing in a powerful way. Creative expression is another strong outlet for bottled emotions. Drawing, music, or writing can help express what words cannot explain. You do not need to be perfect, just express honestly and freely. This builds a deeper connection with your inner emotional world. Setting healthy boundaries is also important for emotional balance. Learn to say no when something feels uncomfortable or overwhelming. Respecting your feelings teaches others to respect them as well. Boundaries protect your emotional space from unnecessary stress and pressure. It is also important to challenge negative beliefs about emotions. Feeling deeply is not a weakness, it is a human strength. Every emotion carries a message that deserves to be understood. Ignoring those messages only delays your growth and inner peace. You may also consider professional support if emotions feel too heavy. A therapist can guide you in understanding and processing emotions safely. There is no shame in seeking help for your mental well-being. In fact, it shows responsibility and care for your inner self. Be patient with yourself during this emotional healing journey. You are undoing patterns that may have existed for years. Progress may feel slow, but every step forward truly matters. Celebrate small wins, like expressing a feeling honestly for once. These moments build confidence and emotional strength over time. Gradually, expressing emotions will start to feel more natural. You will notice a sense of relief replacing constant inner tension. Your thoughts become clearer when emotions are processed properly. Relationships improve as communication becomes more open and honest. You feel more connected to yourself and others around you. Life begins to feel lighter without the burden of hidden emotions. Challenges still exist, but they become easier to manage calmly because you are no longer carrying everything silently inside. Instead, you are facing emotions with awareness and understanding. This shift creates real emotional strength and resilience within you. You begin to trust yourself and your feelings more deeply. Confidence grows as you learn to handle emotions in healthy ways. The fear of emotions slowly fades as understanding increases daily. You realize emotions are not enemies, but important inner signals, and listening to them leads you toward balance and clarity. This is how you slowly break free from the habit of suppression. Now imagine a life where you no longer hide your true emotions. A life where feelings flow naturally without fear or suppression. This is not perfection, but a healthier and more balanced existence. You begin to understand yourself on a deeper and honest level. Your emotions become guides instead of problems to avoid constantly. You listen to what you feel and respond with awareness. This creates a strong connection between your mind and heart. You no longer feel lost inside your own thoughts and reactions. Instead, you feel grounded, clear, and emotionally present every day. Situations that once overwhelmed you now feel easier to manage because you allow emotions to move instead of trapping them inside. You express concerns early, preventing problems from growing too large. Communication becomes smoother and more honest in every relationship. People understand you better because you share your truth openly. This builds trust and strengthens your connections with others deeply. You no longer expect others to guess how you truly feel. Instead, you communicate clearly with confidence and emotional balance. This reduces misunderstandings and unnecessary emotional pain significantly. You also develop stronger boundaries that protect your inner peace. Saying no becomes easier when you respect your own emotions. You stop overextending yourself just to please everyone around you. This creates more space for self-care and personal growth. Your energy is no longer drained by unspoken stress and pressure. Instead, you feel more energized and focused on meaningful experiences. Emotional awareness improves your decision-making in powerful ways. You trust your instincts because you understand your feelings clearly. Choices become easier when your inner voice feels strong and reliable. You no longer feel confused about what truly matters to you. This clarity helps you move forward with confidence and purpose. Your mental health improves as emotional pressure is released regularly. Anxiety decreases when thoughts and feelings are processed properly. You sleep better because your mind is no longer overloaded. Your body feels lighter without constant hidden tension inside. Even difficult emotions become easier to face and understand because you know they are temporary and meaningful signals. You stop fearing sadness, anger, or vulnerability completely. Instead, you accept them as natural parts of human experience. This acceptance brings a deep sense of peace and stability. You feel more alive because you experience emotions fully. Joy feels deeper when it is not blocked by suppression. Even challenges bring growth instead of silent internal suffering. You begin to appreciate your emotional depth as a strength. This shift changes how you see yourself and your journey. You feel proud of your ability to face emotions bravely. Life becomes more authentic when you stop hiding your truth. You no longer wear a mask just to appear strong outside. Real strength comes from honesty and emotional openness within. Others may feel inspired by your courage to express freely. Your story becomes a source of connection and understanding. You realize you are not alone in your emotional struggles. Everyone carries feelings, but not everyone learns to express them. By choosing expression, you break a cycle many people stay trapped in. This creates a healthier path, not only for you, but others too. Your growth can influence those around you in meaningful ways. And it all started by acknowledging what you once avoided. Bottled emotions no longer control your actions or decisions. You have taken back control by understanding and expressing them. This is not a one-time change, but a continuous journey. You will keep learning, growing, and evolving emotionally over time. Some days will still feel challenging, and that is completely normal. What matters is that you no longer run away from feelings. You face them with patience, courage, and growing self-awareness. This mindset creates long-lasting emotional strength and inner peace. And that is the true freedom you were searching for all along. Because when you express your emotions, you finally start living fully.